John, WWDC is upon us.
Oh wait, we're jumping right in. We're not even doing intros.
We're jumping in.
It is upon us. It's the operating system messiah time of year. All hail iOS 18 is going to fix everything that's wrong with the iPhone.
I hope. Now,
I now have more consecutive episodes right now, at least, than Rettinger, your actual co-host.
Probably true.
I was on the last
you mean
one.
in history or like?
No, just right now, currently.
Just right now.
Yeah, I have 2, and
because you have 2.
The last one. Yeah,
that's true.
That's all I need.
Well, you're recording on Memorial Day. My kids were home. We had a party over. But we should at least introduce our guest, who probably needs very little introduction. You probably already know him by the voice, perhaps his handsome face. But our guest this week is the one and only Jon Prosser.
Hi guys, thanks for having me back. Wow, wait, have I beaten Sam now?
It's close.
I think you're like
it's
one
real
episode
close.
away from beating him. I think this might be where you
another
tie
one tomorrow.
Record tomorrow to do
yeah. Gotta do another one.
I was just on the last episode. What's that?
New and improved Jon Prosser.
I was just on the last episode, and I think like that night, the same night, Andrew texted me. He's like, "Hey, by the way, just letting you know, you're on the next one too." So I guess I agreed last month to be on this one.
Yes.
So am I on the next one as well? Just tell me now.
No, that would be Quinn Nelson.
Okay. I'll accept Quinn. He's
actually technically the next one might be. I still don't know. Might be shot at Apple Park. In which case, I have no clue who will be there. It's kind of like, hey,
I don't think Rettinger.
You want to use the podcast studio? If so, just try to grab some people and bring them in.
I'm good not being invited anymore.
Wait, this is the result of the good word.
I'm just being honest.
I want my friends to have as much access to everything possible.
But I don't miss Apple calling me, being like, "Those are dummies that you're using. It looks like you're having the actual phone. We need you to change the title, take the video down, make 16 edits, clip this clip at 432, change the B-roll. We don't like the mood lighting that you said at 438. You have to go ahead and make those changes if we want to continue."
Was it that precise where they would give you like time codes, or are you just joking?
I was joking about the lighting, and everything else was pretty close.
The rest sounded
time
like
codes,
real
like,
trauma.
I feel like there was a shift during the pandemic, or like right at the pandemic. There were some people who left Apple. I don't know if it was. I don't think it had to do with
the lady. The lady who I had my interactions with. I've since followed her career, and she is no longer at it.
Ooh, I think I know who you're talking about now. Yes. So Apple, I feel like, has changed drastically, especially as it pertains to video creators, and it makes me wonder if you were back in with them, if you would still experience that same stuff that I feel like that's like old Apple.
I mean, that'd be nice. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to get access without having to, I don't know how to say this not rudely or crassly, without caressing the ports on the iPhone.
Andrew's going to go to record his podcast at Apple Park and then be like, "You know what, sir?
Let's get into this. WWDC.
It's a big one.
It's my favorite. I was thinking about this. I always thought the iPhone event was my favorite event of the year, but really, what is the iPhone without the software, right? Like,
the iPhone event.
It has to be WWDC. Seeing what you can do with the technology that they have. Obviously, I'm primarily an iPhone user. Apple ecosystem.
No. Are you
user.
Primarily?
Hey, just throwing it out there. So I'm excited. I use the Vision Pro a lot. Obviously, I'm wondering.
I don't. Mine's dead.
Yeah, what? I saw that.
What happened to your Vision Pro?
Wait, you both saw that and no one reached out to me for condolences?
It needs to plug it in a little more.
No, dude, I got a whole new battery shipped to me, plugged it in, made sure the green light was on, completely charged. It doesn't budge. You know how usually when you put it on, the screens start to like...
Yeah, the little breeze.
They come
breeze
on.
a little.
Nothing. Complete darkness. Will not turn on for anything. The nearest Apple store is an hour away from me, so it's like a chore now. It's like a whole thing. I have Apple Care on it, though, so that's good.
Ship it to them.
Okay, yeah. I could ship it to them or Rettinger.
I'll take it to the Apple store for you. I don't even have a Vision Pro anymore. I returned
good.
it and haven't really missed it.
You returned it.
You returned it?
I haven't missed it. I wanted to give it a fair shot. I was like, if I'm going to use this, I will use it.
It gave me a big... was so good.
It gave me a big honking zit, like
I remember
there.
That.
I was on the episode where you had the zit.
And then another one was popping up. I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what visionOS 2 brings, and then maybe jump back into the Vision Pro side of things.
I must
do
say,
you want mine?
The recent release of the
I'll
What
take
If
yours.
app. You know that? Did you see that What If app experience? That is actually very cool.
I'm
very
sure.
cool.
Disney seems like the one company that's really gets the potential, I think, of what the hardware can do.
Gucci. Did you hear about this Gucci app?
No.
Neither of you have. Okay.
Does it look
sounds,
like we have?
I know it sounds ridiculous.
Look, you're talking to us. He's wearing a sweatshirt. I'm wearing a t-shirt. You're wearing an Xbox
It sounds
shirt. Let's be honest,
ridiculous.
none of
I
us
get
have
it.
heard of Gucci.
I'm thinking, okay, this is for shopping because there are some spatial shopping apps out there, but it's not. It has nothing to do with shopping.
Okay.
The Gucci app for Vision Pro is just a 20-minute documentary about their new head of design or something like that. I don't know what the position
It's
is.
about a person?
It's about a person who's doing the design right now for Gucci. And it's a 20-minute documentary. But what's cool is the way it uses the Vision Pro to present the documentary. So again, it's like 20 minutes. So if you're not interested in Gucci at all, whatever.
Does it make
It
you
starts-
the person and the documentary is kind of about you?
No. When it takes you to different locations, like your room changes to the location that it's in, or if they're talking about a product, it might like float up in front of you so you can interact with it while they're talking about it. At one point, like a giant train just like comes through your living room as you're like, they embraced the spatial aspect of what it could be to show a video in a way that no one else has, not even Apple, because it's not Apple does the whole immersive thing. This was a video screen in front of you with spatial elements happening around you as the story. So I feel like it's a case study in what's a new way to present movies and shows in a spatial environment.
Can I come over and use yours to test it?
Yeah, it's not worth buying a Vision Pro for a 20-minute documentary on Gucci, but it is very interesting if you have a Vision Pro to see, give it a try.
20 minutes?
It's like a 20-minute doc.
That's too long.
About Gucci designer?
But when I'm watching it, you're like paying attention to everything else.
My attention span is like maybe 30 seconds.
The TikTok generation got
Oh, yeah. I'm not getting through a 20-minute Gucci video. In regards to Vision Pro, when we get more native apps that aren't just iPad apps, I think the hardware is incredible. I really think they nailed the hardware. I just didn't see much app support for things.
Isn't it weird, though? That's like, for the longest time, Apple nailed software, and everyone complained about, the hardware's always lacking. You could spend way less and get way more for a PC or an Android device. Now it's completely reversed. The hardware is too much, it's ridiculous, and the software doesn't do anything. On iPad, on Vision Pro, on anything.
It's hard to argue, especially when we talk about the M4 and the power of the iPad.
That iPad Pro is ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
let's go in order.
Is the software going to get better?
Let's go in order. Let's go by platform. What platform do you want to start?
Let's start with the iPhone. But iOS 18 is supposed to be, the one software update to rule them all.
It's supposed to be the biggest. One of the biggest.
Typical Apple fashion, we're going to get an update
John
to the
and
Journals
I probably
app.
Made 4 of the same videos back to back about iOS 18, so we know too much.
Is this going to be, and I'm just making jokes, but is this going to be the real update that I think a lot of people have been waiting for actual change? Alleged features.
Alleged, yes. This is according to Mark Gurman, who he seems to fall off for a minute, but he's been on quite the roll.
Anything iPad related, yeah, he's just can't get it down.
Siri completing tasks in apps. So an upgraded Siri that he says won't actually be released until 2025. You know how they say, here's the feature coming, this will come later.
Why do you allow that to happen?
Well, I mean, I'd much rather them, if they're like, we have 12 months to get this done. Oh, it's not really ready yet. Just push it. No, don't do that. Don't push it anyway.
Don't say anything until it's ready to ship. What is the point?
Well, this is because the developers can still code for it. So you're presenting it to the developers so they can start coding for it behind the scenes.
Code if they haven't released anything?
No, you can. There'll still be APIs and everything. It's just that they can't release apps with it until this time.
Okay.
So Siri, when you talk to it today, can take actions that Apple allows it to, like predefined actions. And this is supposed to be where you can be in any app. And the developer may not even need to code for this. And you can say, hey, I'm in my image editing app. Siri, apply this filter and then email this to my mom. And it can just take those actions. Shut the hell up. Right.
It just emailed your mom. It just emailed your mom. Shut the hell up.
Right.
I hope you didn't get angry email there, man, from Mom Edwards.
So a Siri that can take actions in apps for you does sound interesting to me. Not huge, not major. I don't know how often I'd use that, but still interesting. Generative AI in apps like Messages, Safari, Notes, voice transcription in Notes, web summarization in Safari. These are all kind of sound like things that we've seen others already doing. So Apple's kind of just catching up to what we've seen elsewhere. Summary of notifications. So just asking, hey, what are my notifications looking like? What did I miss? RCS messaging is coming. New tapbacks in Messages. Text effects for individual words instead of the whole text. That is kind of a rundown. Obviously, there will be, I assume, much more than this, but a rundown of the AI stuff at least. And interestingly enough, some of these will require an iPhone 15 Pro. If you have an iPhone 15 or 14 or lower, some of the AI features won't work on your phone. I'm assuming because you need the A17 Pro chip and engine on there.
So that does tell you at least that a lot of this will be on device. So
Yes.
not cloud. So private, secure.
Some. Because we did also see the information reported, the deal between OpenAI and Apple has been signed. And so OpenAI's technology, ChatGPT or whatever it might be, will also kind of appear in iOS 8.
Are any of us worried about that?
I'm not worried. I'm excited about it.
I'm not
You're the AI
worried as in,
skeptic here.
doom and gloom. It's just I feel like it's very unlike them to just sign with a startup somewhere and start incorporating stuff when we don't know. Like, I don't even know if I can trust OpenAI by themselves yet. And now Apple has signed something with them, and now somehow my data is going to be wrapped up
Back in the
that.
day, when Apple added natively Twitter and Facebook inside of iOS, might have even been iPhone OS.
There was a native Twitter app?
It wasn't that. It was natively in the set. Like if you go into settings, kind of like how on the first iPhone, YouTube was just built in.
Yeah.
There was a moment in time for a couple of years where Facebook
it was in
and
your
Twitter,
settings too, like all the way up to like iPhone 4 or 4S, I think.
Yeah, there was APIs built into the phone itself for Twitter and Facebook. So not native apps, but it was like you can be in a different app and you can easily just send something to tweet it without having to open Twitter. Make a Facebook post from somewhere without having to open Facebook. And then when those two companies started getting creepy, Apple removed them very quickly. I wonder how that's going to happen here. I mean, everything here went down before that whole Scarlett Johansson thing that happened that we talked about last week. I don't know that if Apple signs a agreement that says we're going to pay you to use your APIs, and part of that agreement is cannot train data on whatever our customer sends you. Now, we don't know if that's the agreement or not, but just using it as an example. If that's the case, that's fine with me. How much worse is signing a deal with OpenAI than signing $20 billion a year for Google to be your default search engine and to get all that?
Well, the difference, I think, is that I have already given everything to Google. Like I actually need their services. They surround me everywhere, and like the trade-off is worth it for me. I have no horse in the race for OpenAI at all yet, apparently. But when and OpenAI is like extremely new. At least what they're trying to do feels extremely new, and just I'm just hoping that Apple. I'm like stuck somewhere in the middle between. Oh, okay, maybe I can trust them a little bit more if Apple, feels comfortable to sign with them. But then also I'm like, well, do they just need the technology that bad to where they're just signing something anyway and working out the kinks later?
Do you want to see something like some sort of option to turn off cloud-based AI?
I would love that.
I imagine there absolutely will be in those settings.
I just figured
I'm hard on Apple, but if there's anything where I will give Apple the benefit of the doubt, in the pantheon of tech companies, it's security and privacy. And listen, they certainly have their own issues with security and privacy, but amongst Meta's, Google's, Twitter's, X, whatever, everywhere else, Apple still, I think, stands above. So I'm
even
willing
if
to
they're not
give
telling the truth. Give me perceived privacy.
At 100%. I think that's all we have anyways, perceived privacy. I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt there.
On that statement, I would imagine there will be a section of WWDC specific to that.
What if the model is on device? I mean, you have ChatGPT 4 right now, but that's a browser based. It'll be an app based, for a lot of situations. But what if that's on device anyway?
Yeah, like what if there's a patent that OpenAI has that Apple wanted to incorporate on their, and they literally couldn't unless they like signed something.
And then for every software update, you get updates to whatever updates ChatGPT or OpenAI has done.
That could also explain maybe why you need the newer phone.
That was the next point.
Yeah, so it will be interesting. It seems like some of this stuff is going to be in the cloud, at least according to Gurman. And Apple is also still negotiating with Google. So it sounds like in Apple's perfect world, they would want to be able to have you make a request. Then they quickly determine, is this something we can handle on device or the cloud? Then if cloud, which cloud service would best service this request? So we can send it to OpenAI, we can send it to Google, we can handle it
When you
ourselves.
say send it to Google, are they going to like try to work with Gemini or?
Yeah, it would be a Gemini thing.
Could you imagine just putting in a request and on the device it gives you the best of OpenAI and Gemini? Like it just gives you the best of whatever those two can do.
And if that were the case, then at least from where I sit, it seems that Apple would have the best version of AI processing, because obviously Android phones are just using Gemini, right? Mm-hmm. No phone is using OpenAI on the back end yet.
No.
So the iPhone would be the first. And if you can just choose which one would be the best, no one else is doing it. So
I love all these discussions because whenever Apple announces, we know it's coming to the next Samsung phone. I mean, so we know exactly what's coming.
Yeah. I feel like expectations every time we start hearing rumors, it's like the rumors are accurate, but our expectations are just a tad above what they actually deliver on. So I think if our expectations are at a 10, they are realistically going to deliver like an 8. Still impressive, but not quite as like, what our imaginations are allowing us to have.
An 8 would be good. What I don't want to see is like a 3.
Yeah, I don't.
Like we were expecting a bunch of AI stuff, and Apple literally just doing stuff that's catching up to like a year ago and just calls it good. That would be...
No, they can't. They've gone too many years not delivering on Siri and just leaving that the same, to where if they're going to do something now, it has to be something that sets the stage for the next decade.
I agree. Are any of those AI features I mentioned interesting to you?
I'm excited for anything that's better than current Siri. If I hear, here's what I found on the web.
I'm sorry, working on that.
Yeah, all I can do is have it set an alarm for me. And even then, I have to give a wake word to get it to stop. Anything, even like an incremental step forward from where Siri is now, would appear to be such a drastic improvement because of how far behind that assistant and Apple services are.
Just make Siri contextually aware, and I'm happy.
It's huge. It doesn't even have to be generative AI. I don't need it to create an image of a frog jumping over a lily pad because I asked for it. Just like contextually be aware of what's on my screen.
Yeah.
Now,
just and the translation capabilities and the conversational abilities of like what we saw with OpenAI a few weeks ago are insane. Like actually insane.
You want that. See, the thing, like I agree with you, John, but if that's all they gave us, I would be on. It was like Siri is doing what it should have been doing the whole time. That's not enough for me. I need the frog jumping over the lily.
We haven't even talked about the biggest update to iOS 18. The missing piece of Apple's ecosystem, which hasn't been there for years, which Android phones have had, what we've been waiting for Apple to finally grace us with. We've been chomping at the bit, excited, like fish in a pond when they dangle some food over us. We are finally, ladies and gentlemen, going to be able to move icons anywhere we want on the home screen. We just, my God, thank you, Mama, Papa,
Change the
Apple.
Color.
Oh, change the color.
Now you're getting careful. Let's not get crazy.
Crazy. I mean, I'm joking. The point being, you're right. I shouldn't assume anything is coming or Apple's going to do anything to catch up.
I'm hoping.
I would have been really excited about that when I was like 17, but now I don't care. I don't care what my phone looks like. I just want it to work.
Yeah. But hey, remember, like those high school kids, they're all buying iPhones.
They are. Yeah,
It's true.
That's true.
Let me try to share my screen real quick, because I tried this last week and it didn't
Oh,
work.
God, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Well,
This
it's
is all
nice
gonna
talking
crash.
to you guys when this crashes.
There it is.
All right. I see it.
In real time, this is what we've been saying the whole time during the show, right?
I
Real
don't
time.
like it.
But if I go to notes, in real time, it has generated, as we speak, notes about what we've been saying.
That's pretty cool.
And then when we're done, when I hit stop recording, it will then take the notes and generate a summary of everything.
When you sent this to me the last time we recorded, how the hell did it know who I was? Like, it was like, Jon Prosser said this. How does it know that?
That's crazy.
Probably because I put meeting with Jon Prosser.
How does it know which
It's
one
just
is
like-
me?
But this is the kind of stuff that I want to see. Like, obviously, this is a third-party app. This is the kind of stuff I want to see Apple doing. Like, if I have a meeting, transcribe things, make notes for me, like make my life easier with AI. Don't just give me like cool AI tricks.
Okay, that said
I can
connections and then had Google listed under connections. So what is that connected to Google for at all? Like Google Drive?
That would
or
connect to my Google Calendar so that any meeting that I have upcoming, it'll grab like any emails about the meeting or anything and put them all in there to like make a summary. I don't use Google Calendar, so
Rest in peace, all executive assistants. They're gone.
okay. What about macOS? macOS 15.
Yeah.
We haven't really heard much.
Same thing. Put AI in that. I'm actually, out of all the software, I think I'm happiest with macOS. I have very little complaints about macOS.
Does that mean that they've been playing it safe with macOS?
It's just really good. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, if they're playing,
like it's the oldest OS,
safe,
it's solid.
working.
Yeah.
Everything they put in iOS, do you want to see it in macOS? I feel like I do.
Yeah, especially AI stuff. It needs to come to macOS too.
One of the things that Gurman said is there's going to be a redesigned system settings. I know people have not liked system settings the past 2 years.
I actually like the new design for them.
Do you?
I've gotten used to it.
I don't know that
maybe
it's
that's it. Maybe I'm just used to it.
I don't feel like it's a game changer. Like, how often do you go into, like, okay, it's settings, like,
yeah,
whatever. Well, macOS, we'll see. Hopefully we got some good AI smarts in there. Interestingly enough, though, with the talk of what we just talked about with the iPhone Pro needing to be necessary, 15 Pro in particular for some AI stuff, Apple's 2 highest end Macs are still on M2.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The Mac Pro, I use a Mac Pro, M2 Ultra, the Mac Studio, they're on M2. So we have M3 in the laptops, we have M4 in the iPad, M2 on the 2 highest end Macs. It makes me curious. Are there going to be AI features that the top? It can't be that the two.
Well,
the top two.
Is that why we got M4 on the iPad? Because like, are we just jumping straight to M4 here? For
M4 on the iPad was needed in particular for the display drive.
But M3 was hard to manufacture. There were some issues with it. I think that was also part of the move to
right.
And we're probably not getting another new iPad for like a while. So
correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just curious. What are the 2 highest end Macs going to be? Because Gurman says no hardware at all, so it's not like we're going to get new Macs.
Oh my God! Shocker! Do you remember Do you remember when? Do you remember when I said 100% of MacBooks are coming at WWDC, and a bunch of people sold their MacBooks in preparation, and then then it didn't happen, and there was so many articles written about it. It was so terrible.
I sure do.
I mean, that wasn't even me. That was some guy that looked like me. So I don't know. It was
all right. iPadOS.
This has got to be a big one.
What is going to happen here?
This
Make
is
or break.
I agree. It's make or break too. You have a Ferrari engine, a Lamborghini engine that you can only drive in like maybe second gear sometimes. Now you can drive on the freeway and you can get there. You can get where you need to go.
Yeah.
100% if you're willing to make the sacrifices to get there. Yeah. And it's the exact same with the iPad Pro.
I could also get there on a horse though. So
yeah. Like there's even on the M1 is still stupid powerful.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, this is a make or break moment for iPad. I already felt like the iPad event was a make or break because it was going to show us how much gas they had left in the tank in terms of how much they care about iPad. And it seems like again, with hardware, they are giving us the business in terms of hardware. And I don't 100%. Understand how you could ever put that much effort into unless the hardware teams and software teams are not communicating at all. I don't know how we have hardware so far ahead with iPad on an iPad of all things, and software is so terrible. We can't go another year of terrible iPadOS with an M4 on that iPad. We can't.
You don't hold back hardware though, right? You don't say we have this M4. Don't put that in there because don't put it in there, right? You just make the good hardware.
No. That's what they did for so long. My point is for them to be putting an M4 in and not communicating with the software team, being like, "Hey, this is what's possible on this," and the software team's like, "Nah, we're good. We're good with what we had 4 years ago. Actually, thanks."
We want an inch between icons, like at least an inch between icons. Like people need that, right?
All I'm saying is all of this has proved one thing, and that is iPad Mini is still the best iPad that has ever iPaded.
Love the iPad Mini. The iPad Mini is the true iPad.
It is.
I don't know, man. I'm loving my 11.9 inch. I went down from the big boy. I think it's a perfect size.
That's still a big boy to me in iPad Mini world.
What do we want? What would make you feel? Forget all the other AI stuff, right? Because if we can assume that if the AI is on the iPhone, it's coming to the iPad, unless there's going to be a chip thing there as well where you need a chip for some stuff. What would set apart the iPad Pro for you? What could they announce that would say, okay, this is now appropriate?
Just drop some of the guardrails is like all I need, I think. Like, okay, imagine in landscape, it changes. Like maybe it opens up a little bit just by turning it. It's not full macOS, but it's like the equivalent to when you plug a Samsung phone into Dex or whatever. You get a little bit more. You get some extra layers. That would be awesome. Even something as simple as better file management goes a long way. Especially when you're pitching iPad Pro, at least, to be for creatives, and you can plug in drives and all this other stuff. Okay, but I can't get anything off of the drives efficiently this way at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we see an equal emphasis on creation as there is on consumption, right? For consuming things, the iPad's incredible. Mini, iPad Pro, iPad, whatever, any of the iPads, they're great. But where you start to have those guardrails and those issues when it comes to any sort of creation on those devices. Like I said, you can do it, but those guardrails are a pain in the ass. I keep thinking back to Quinn's video, trying to run multiple monitors, get 2 instances of the same app running. And it was like 49 different steps to get that to work. If we get to that point where there's an equal emphasis, man, iPadOS is it's going to be the resurgence of the iPad. Then it actually does become a PC.
Yeah. And this is the most Apple thing ever, but I will even accept if it goes this far. If you don't get the extra layers unless the magnets hit for that Magic Keyboard. Like, unless you put it on that Magic Keyboard and then it unlocks some stuff, fine, I'll do it. But it's just, it is ridiculous that thing is still in kindergarten in software, and in terms of software. It makes no sense.
If there was going to be a year where there's a big change, it does seem like this is the year. Like, why release one with an M4? Like, why even bother releasing an iPad with an M4? Right? You've waited so long.
Is the only reason literally the tandem OLED?
The display driver in the M3 and earlier cannot do 2 full resolution iPad displays running.
But I just don't want that to be the only reason.
Like there's got to be. I like to believe. I'm choosing to believe.
Yes.
My glass half full that there was a reason that we went to M4. And we're talking about M3 not being able to support drivers for tandem OLED. I'm sure Apple could have made that work if they want. I'm sure they could have virtualized something and made those drivers work if they wanted to. There's got to be a reason there's so much horsepower in these new iPads. Did
you guys know? So obviously, if you get the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte version, you get 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Mm-hmm.
The 256 and 512 are sold as 8 gigabyte iPads, but they technically have 12 gigs in it.
What?
Are they software locking RAM?
They're software locking RAM. They have 12 gigabyte RAM chips in the
what?
256 and 512.
I had not heard that.
I didn't know that
I'm wondering if that is some sort of.
Is that true?
Yeah. If that's like reserved for something. Because AI is obviously very RAM intensive, right?
But
are they reserving that extra 4 gigs for the system to use for some reason? Otherwise, why put it in there?
But what about the higher storage options? Like, is that not being reserved?
The higher storage options are at 16.
Oh, it's at 16. Got it. Just sign up to Apple One and you can unlock more RAM on your phone.
What's up with watchOS?
Man, watchOS. I'm not asking for a lot from it, other than AI and the better Siri. I need better Siri in the Apple Watch, especially. But if you're going to put better Siri in the Apple Watch and you don't put it in my HomePods, we're going to have a problem here. Because there's only one way to communicate with the HomePods, and if that is still ass, I will throw them all away.
My question, can we just have one Siri? How about that? Like, why do we have different Siris that can do different things?
Why are we, asking for the whole sleuth of products to get the same thing? Why are we asking for that? Why isn't it just default and expected to be that way?
One Siri across my devices. I'll tell you what I want the Apple Watch to be. I want the Apple Watch, obviously it doesn't have a camera, but I want the Apple Watch to be the Humane and Rabbit R1 killer.
Not without a camera.
Not without a camera, but camera features aside, right? Like, let me talk to my Apple Watch like an AI assistant. Let me tell it things, tell it to remind me of things, and actually just do it.
I don't think it would take that much effort to kill them, with or without a camera, because are you really going to carry around an extra device that does the same thing as the Apple Watch but has a camera? I don't think so. It's already hard to convince people to add another device like those to your pockets. And I already feel like there's no reason to do that. If you have a phone now and an Apple Watch now, there's barely any reason to do that. So once we add AI features and Siri is, usable, then there's no... That's probably why Humane's trying to get acquired before DubDub.
Hey, wait a minute. It does have a camera. It does have a camera because you know how on your Mac you can say, take a picture using my iPhone. What if on your watch you're just like, hey, what is this? Boom, hold up your phone.
Okay, so you're holding up your phone and why not just talk to your phone at that point?
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
And then I can AirPlay that to my TV, and then I can talk to my TV. Listen, all I want from a new Apple Watch, and this isn't even software, I just want the white ceramic to come back.
Oh,
I've got a Apple Watch Ultra 2 that I use 0 Ultra features on at all.
Oh yeah. The only reason I have this is because the battery lasts 3 days.
I charge mine every night. I'll probably go back to a normal size Apple Watch. I'm going to shrink everything in my life. This is I don't use anything that is on here at all.
Okay, I got you. I'm the same way. Let me ask you guys about this.
But I'd pay all the money for ceramic Apple Watch again.
I would love to see the return of ceramic. tvOS. tvOS.
Oh yeah.
They don't even talk about it at WWDC anymore.
I'm fine with tvOS. I just need the Apple TV to be not a box that I have to plug in separately and run a cable to and plug that into my sound system and then just make it a stick. Why is it a box that I have to my TV? I have an Apple TV for both my TV and my projector. Both of those things require 2 long HDMI cables and a third one that plugs into my surround sound. So an arc through surround sound comes out, it goes into the projector or the TV, whatever. That is too much for that. Just put it on a stick. Why does the Apple TV look the same as it did in 2010? I think we had Chromecast in 2010 that were little dongles by then.
They want it to be a premium box.
I would still love Apple to put out a minimum spec requirement to run tvOS for TV manufacturers. You have to have X amount of power, X amount of RAM available, and meet the new LG G5 powered by tvOS. I'd be like I'm in.
Yeah.
You don't need a box. And you actually can use for the first time, although using eARC with the built-in OS is tricky. Have that built in.
I was going to say, sell me a surround sound unit with tvOS built in, but I like your idea better.
Imagine a minimum spec. You have to have this much power, this much RAM available at all time. Here's your ad requirements, what you can put or not put in. I'd buy that in a heartbeat. I mean, Roku did it with a tremendous amount of success.
Mm-hmm. Except you only need a little piece of bubble gum as RAM to run Roku OS. That stuff runs terribly always.
I think that would be tremendous. And that was certainly a departure for Apple, right? A software as a service company doing more across. I mean, rumors of Apple TV coming to Android. We already have Apple TV across every other TV.
Apple Music.
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, there's There's big opportunities there. They want to get people watching their Apple TV content. That's a great way to do it.
All right, the last one, visionOS. I know, John, you turned yours, but I'm sure you still have opinions and thoughts. So
I love things that we're seeing. I loved it. I just wasn't using it.
Right. So how about please unlock the final 2 environments that I've just been chilling for the past 4 months.
That's the most un-Apple thing I've ever seen in my entire.
Why is that? Like if that's
coming soon.
If that's a visionOS 2 thing, because I'm hoping that's just going to be a point update in Vision 1. If that's a visionOS 2 thing.
New environments.
Those have been chilling. Those will have been chilling there for over 7 months by the time visionOS is released.
What do they need to do for those to not be coming soon? I don't understand what the steps.
I don't get it either. It makes no sense.
It makes Apple look so. Why was that there in the first place?
Is it just to keep like the layout uniform?
That's what I was thinking. Like we just want to have 13 of these on the. But come on, even if it was, how long does it take to make those? Like why? There's no way those aren't ready.
Ready by launch. Well,
in fact, I want those 2 unlocked
back on.
plus another whole page of them.
Sure.
Yeah. Give them to me.
Install second page is coming soon.
Can we install I want to
those
install
will be in visionOS 3.
third-party
Those will be coming soon for a year. The rest of Apple's first-party apps need to be spatialized instead of the iPad version.
Yes.
And what I've been hearing inside of Apple, even before the Vision Pro was launched, inside of Apple, when they do the Mac screen, what's that called? The Mac virtual display, they have more than one screen. So I'm hoping that that's just something they've been testing internally, and that with the Vision Pro 2.0, that the Mac virtual display will support multiple displays instead of just one.
What's in Vision Pro? M2?
What's that? M2, yeah.
M2, yeah.
That's more than, well, yeah, because the M2, wait a minute. No, it's the M3. The M3 is the hardware where you can have 2 displays. You can have an external display and use your laptop display at once. But still, this is virtual. This is virtual display.
Yeah, it's still pumping through the same displays.
They're doing it internally at Apple, and I'm hoping that becomes a public feature for visionOS 2. But anything else you can think of for visionOS?
Being able to play 3D videos, like move your head and see stuff move around. That's something that's still not supported on the headset.
Wait, what?
If you go to YouTube and you play a 3D video,
yeah,
it just see a window. Like it doesn't like immersive.
But is that an Apple thing or a YouTube thing?
It's an Apple thing.
Okay. So you want to be able to watch a video.
Yeah, if you want to watch something that's shot in 360,
you're not talking about Apple Immersive.
No.
You're talking about you're enveloped in video all around you.
Yeah.
On your head and kind of look around.
I really feel like that's a YouTube thing, because on the Quest, they have a YouTube VR app where that is what supports the VR content.
Quest,
there's nothing like that on Vision Pro.
Any 360 video usually plays on the Quest, whether it's browser-based or app-based.
I want to be able to explore. Like, let me walk 5 feet in either direction if I'm in an immersive app.
Yeah.
Let me actually explore that.
You want some sort of, what's it called? Boundary?
Guardian?
You want some sort of guardian.
No.
Yeah.
You don't even have to do that. Just do the same thing where you fade out when I get too close to something. That's fine. That always works for me. 100%. I've never like run into something. But give me more room to do whatever I want to do, because then we could do actual 3D games. Like that, one of my favorite games, not just VR games, but favorite games of all time, is Walkabout Mini Golf. It's incredibly styled. It looks great. It's great to play with friends. And that would look and run wonderfully on Vision Pro, but they can't release it because you can't walk. It's called Walkabout Mini Golf, and there's no walking about anywhere in Vision Pro.
You can't walk.
No walking. No walkabout.
Listen. We are finally starting to see some bigger games coming to Vision Pro. Demio just came out, $40 game. What were the other 2 that just came out? They're older ones. Vacation Simulator and Job Simulator. Those were like on the Quest for years. Years. Probably like 8 years. But hey, at least we're seeing some 3D game, actual 3D game coming. Mm-hmm. Keep it coming. Let's move on to hardware. Now we're talking about September here. Jon Prosser, you made some video. Apple Watch 10. Can you tell us about what to expect in Apple Watch 10? And is it something I'm going to want to trade Apple Watch Ultra for?
Sure, if you're willing to also throw away all of your bands. Like a lot of people have been getting Apple Watch since the inception, and you've been collecting, like some people have, I know people personally that have like closets full of Apple Watch bands that they've
I'm sorry, did you say closets plural?
Yeah, like they're like okay, no, the people are plural and they have one closet. Okay, where like because some people, this is real. They'll go up, put on an outfit, and then go, I wonder which watch band will fit best with this. That's too much thinking for me. I'm not going to do that.
People also had collections of lightning cables and 30.
Yeah, so all that stuff is going away because apparently new magnetic band system, which
that worries me. Magnets just worries me.
It worries me, but if it works, then it's perceived as more premium that way.
That needs to be strong as hell. I don't want my watch just falling off.
Well, it's like, you know, the crater that's in the watch for where you slide in your bands now. Making it externally and magnet system will, in theory, give more space inside the watch. But instead of utilizing that space for battery or anything good, they're just making the watch thinner. And that's how so basically they're going to be shooting for the same battery life, which is the same thing they always reach for every year, which is 18 hours. I'm sure the battery will be better in terms of technology, but because it's physically smaller, because the watch is thinner, still 18 hours of battery life. So really we're getting rid of all the bands just so your watch can be a little bit thinner.
That's just the bands. Like no one's going to buy this watch because the bands are magnetic. So what else? What else is and it's thinner?
Just a slight redesign is what we're hearing. Like we don't know exactly the redesign. I'm not going to I'm not saying flat sides or anything like that.
Right,
but just I think it's literally pretty much the same, just thinner. But
so this is not an iPhone 10 style, like the iPhone 10 from the iPhone 8 was like a whole new thing. This is not that.
I feel like they may pitch it that way, and it may seem that way because the watch has literally looked the same since the beginning. All they've done is, decrease bezel size or something, but externally, it's all been the same. So, new magnetic watch system and a thinner watch would, for the casual Apple fan, make it seem like a completely new thing. And they may do the Apple thing where complete redesign when it's really, is it?
Make a wet ceramic. I don't care what they call it. Will they have blood oxygen monitoring on there?
I don't know. I mean, you would feel like hopefully that's sorted. Is that's still not sorted now?
It's not because the ones they're selling right now haven't.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I did not. I kind of forgot that even happened with, what is it? Massimo or something?
Yeah, Massimo.
Yeah.
Which is actually located like 2 miles down the road.
Can you go talk them into dropping everything?
I should. That's actually, that was the office that was Tony Stark's office in Iron Man 1, the Massimo headquarters.
Really? Wow.
It's a fun fact. I could throw rocks at him.
You should go there and sweet talk them.
I actually use the blood oxygen feature, or I use it. I have used it regularly. Disappointed if it wasn't there.
Sleep apnea detection, also going to be cool.
Oh, okay.
Going to use heart rate data, breathing data while you're sleeping and stuff. And now I'm sure it's not going to be as accurate as going to a doctor's office and getting a sleep test actually done, like a sleep study.
Yeah.
But with a sleep study, the environment is a little wonky. I don't think I could fall asleep in that environment hooked up to stuff. I don't think that's accurate readings of stuff. So just the same way the Apple Watch can detect irregular heart rhythm, it's not like, hey, you're broken, you're going to die soon. It's like, hey, we noticed this thing, you should just go get it checked out by an actual professional. Even if that's all we get, that's great. Yeah, you're broken, sorry. You are broken. I think, as long as they're just like, hey, we noticed some irregularities while you were sleeping, could be sleep apnea related, that could that could save some people that are not paying attention or think that I went my entire 20s thinking that I was an invincible human.
Yeah.
That nothing could go wrong with my internal systems because who dies at 20? Who would do that? But when you turn 30, you're like, I've heard some things about people being like 36 and kicking the bucket.
Yeah.
Maybe I should keep an eye on that.
Blood glucose has been rumored for a while.
That's the one thing they've been working on since Steve was alive. They wanted that on the original Apple Watch, and it's just too hard to create algorithms to read all that stuff. But it's still being talked about. I don't know if it's going to appear in the Apple Watch 10, but if they're not, as long as they're not giving up on it, that is another. That to me, that's on par with heart rate monitoring. That could be so life changing for countless diabetics that are used to poking themselves every day.
Yeah, I don't know how they can measure that. I grew up in my father's endocrinologist, my sister's endocrinologist. I don't know how they could possibly measure blood glucose. I mean, just by, I don't know how that's even possible. I guess the color of the blood. I don't know. And
anything, there's reading it, and then there's reading it accurately too.
Yeah, I mean, so it would be like the blood oxygen level, right? It's not medical grade; it's consumer grade. So no, it's something to use in case of. Any other features?
I kind of think that's it. Like there's not much. It's like the difference between an iPhone 12 and an iPhone 13 or an iPhone 14, but we just haven't had anything drastic done to Apple Watch in 10 years, so anything looks like a major upgrade.
What about Ultra 3?
Oh, I haven't heard anything about Apple Watch Ultra 3.
I mean, are they going to skip? I mean, because the update from 1 to 2 was so drastic.
Yeah, I know. Why? There were prototypes of that black Apple Watch Ultra, and they really just kept it there. They didn't release it. How dare they?
That would have, at least that's a color.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or white ceramic. Just throwing that out there.
The titanium. Oh,
yeah, it would have looked great.
It looks so good.
That's going to be Apple Watch 3. Just new colors.
I mean,
they're going to make the dial on the side. What was the issue with
ceramic? Why did it go away? Just too expensive, or
ceramic? I don't know why the ceramic went away.
Just not enough people buying it, or
probably. I wore that watch for a year and sold it at the end of the year for more than I paid for it.
Maybe that's why they got rid of it.
I was like, that's incredible.
When did they? What Apple Watch stopped with ceramic?
I want to say 7.
Apple
6?
Watch 7.
6 maybe. And then they had the red one, the blue one.
For some reason, the last ceramic was Apple Watch 4 in my memory.
You might be right. It's been a minute.
Ceramic last one.
Series
5.
Any surprises? Like anything that we wouldn't expect? Is there a one more thing? Is it like they're going to drive a Rivian out on stage and be like, we're partnering with Rivian?
Just kidding. Remember how you thought the Apple car was canceled? Here it is.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think the surprises are all going to come in the form of AI stuff. Like how they're going to use it. Just like AI has existed, right? They've been planting seeds for AI on iPhone for a long time. They just haven't called it AI. A lot of people don't realize that every time you take a picture, the neural engine is using so much AI to stitch all those photos together. Your Photos app, that's how it's contextually aware of text in the images. You could search for a cat, a specific type of cat, and it will find it in your photos. That's all happening on device. It's AI, and they're not even calling it AI. I love what they're doing with things like personal voice. Like that is very clearly AI that isn't marketed as AI. It's just marketed as a feature for humans. So I expect a lot of that. I mean, they'll probably say AI a ton, of course. Same way they said 5G a ton.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm looking forward to. The areas where they're going to use AI, where the feature isn't, hey, it's AI. The feature is look what we're doing with AI in like a controlled environment. That's what I want to be surprised by.
As always, Jon Prosser, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for what you do for the community. And thank you thank you for being you.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you for being you, man.
I agree. And that is it for this edition of Geared Up. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, you can catch John and I on YouTube. I'm at youtube.com/gearlive, and John is at youtube.com/John4Lakers. Feel free to head over and subscribe to our channels to stay up to date on all the latest tech. Speaking of subscribing, you can subscribe to Geared Up in your favorite podcast app if you haven't done so already. Just search Geared Up, that's 2 words, not one, in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Overcast, or really wherever you choose to listen. If you like what we do, please consider leaving us a rating and review. It really helps other people find the show. Geared Up is a Gear Live podcast, and you can see more from us at gearlive.com. Thank you so much for listening. For John Rettinger, I'm Andrew Edwards, and we'll catch you in the next episode.